Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Mortgage Insiders. And today we're going to be talking about a pretty cool topic: bridge loans, bridge financing, where, when, how does it apply to you? And we're going to kind of give you all the ins and outs of it, because especially in a market like this, whether you're, buying a new home or, perhaps you're downgrading or upsizing or whatever the situation may be, if you're a current homeowner and your equity is trapped inside of the home that you currently live in, are there any alternatives for you to move forward? So Preet and myself will be here chatting about it. So Preet, let's start it off. Let's tell our listeners, what is a bridge loan? Like, when would someone want to consider this?
Absolutely, Kim. Thank you very much. So welcome everyone to another edition of Mortgage Insiders edition. So bridge loan, basically you will need it when you are basically selling your existing property and your down payment is coming from the sale proceeds. But let's say you're selling the property after and you're buying the next property that you're moving in, you're buying it before. So the lawyer needs the funds, the bank also needs to see those funds. In these kind of scenarios, when you're buying it before but you're selling it later on, that's the perfect scenario for a bridge loan. Alternatively, some clients basically they may not need a bridge loan if you already have an existing line of credit, home equity line of credit on your existing property. Then you don't need a bridge loan. You can withdraw money from your home equity line of credit, use it for the down payment. Obviously, we would have to count it as a payment until both mortgages are approved, and basically you can show that you can afford both mortgages simultaneously. But coming back to the original topic, if you don't have equity line of credit, or let's say there was no time to set it up, and now you suddenly decided to sell your property and move from A property to the B property, and you're looking for that benefit to cash in, then bridge loan is the instant product that is available. Same time when we are doing the mortgage application, we apply for the bridge loan, and the bank is ready to give you money for that bridge. Other terms that used are bridge financing, interim financing. These are the common terms used for, but it's the same concept. We are giving you money for the short term, and it
Mhm.
is like based on number of days you need. It could be 5 days, it could be 30 days, it could be 60 days. Many lenders have different products depending upon number of days. Yeah.
And I think, like, just to add to that note too, so for our listeners, just know that when it comes to bridge financing, the whole concept of that is if you currently own a home, obviously you don't want to be homeless, right? You obviously want to buy a new home, but you want to move into it first before you sell your home. If the reverse was true, where you sold your home and you don't take possession of your new home until much later, where are you going to live in the interim? So that's why
Of
usually clients who are looking to buy a new home, they want to line it
course.
up where they take possession of their new home first so they can move everything out, and
Yeah.
then they'll sell their home after. I think one key thing too for our listeners is that in order to get bridge financing, though, just know that one of the criteria is that you need to have a firm sale and purchase. Okay, that means that your home has to be firmly sold. That means all conditions are signed off. And then the same thing with the purchase, right? It has to be firm on both ends in order for a lender to approve. Now,
Absolutely.
correct me if I'm wrong, Preet. I know, looping back to the lenders, not every lender offers this, right? And I think so. You got to be careful, right? If you are someone who may be looking at this, reach out to your mortgage professional, and you got to ask. You got to tell them upfront that you may be looking for a bridge loan. Like, that's something that you should be disclosing. Most brokers will be good enough in asking you, but it is something that you should be mindful of.
Yeah.
Preet, what about fees and stuff? What are you seeing for fees, administration fees, interest rates? What are you seeing on your end?
On my end, what I've seen is the interest rate wise, basically it starts from prime plus two, prime plus three, somewhere in that range. And some lenders are coming to the setup fee and the admin fee. Some lenders charge it, some lenders don't. Majority of the big lenders like TD Scotia, I haven't seen any setup or admin fee for them. But I do have seen some lenders charging setup fee. And keeping in mind, this is a short term. Depending upon the amount, also the lenders will also register a lien against your existing property. And some lenders may not be able to do it, or they may not prefer to do it. But majority of the lenders will register a lien against your property. So Fee wise, it is tough to say. Like sometimes we could negotiate with the lender depending upon the volume of the business that we are booking with them. But again, it's pretty much always like it's
Couple
depending upon the
hundred.
pool. Yeah.
Yeah. I always say it is a nominal fee, like keep that in mind, right? And just know that you don't have to get bridge financing too. Like just keep that in mind. If you do choose to go through with bridge financing with a lender, again, depending on lender, I find that like the most I've seen for administration fee would be a couple hundred. But
Yeah.
again, if you have like nice family members that are able to lend to you, maybe that could be a cheaper alternative, right? Instead of going through the bridge financing. But again,
Hmm.
like this whole purpose is if you want to take possession of your home right away before your home sells, this is what you need to do because you got to come up with that down payment somewhere somehow, right? If you don't
Yeah.
have it
Yeah.
in your savings or whatnot, you have to go through with a bridge financing. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And the key part you already mentioned, Kim, is both properties should be firm sale. There should be no conditions pending on both properties. Then only the bridge financing is applicable. Other thing that I have noticed is when bridge financing money is basically calculated, different lenders have their own calculators. From the sale proceeds, they will deduct lawyer fee out of it. They will deduct realtor commission out of it, if applicable, standard commission they will deduct, and that's the worst case scenario they are going for. And then they will see how much money is left from the sale proceeds after at least these two expenses. Sometimes
Hmm.
some lenders I have seen is they will also even check property tax bills, right?
Yeah.
So if there are any property taxes owing on that property in a substantial amount.
Yeah, and
So
don't forget
yeah,
lawyer fees as well too, right?
yeah,
Sometimes they will deduct the estimated amount for lawyer fees. So
lawyer fees,
don't
yeah.
think that you're going to get dollar for dollar. It will really depend on lender to lender.
Absolutely. Yeah. So these are the common few things that the bank will already like calculate before they will say, yeah, this kind of down payment would be available. They will minus these numbers, right? So it's a good product. It gives you basically some peace of mind that you could buy the property beforehand and pick up your stuff. You don't have to rent and move into your property and then you're giving the possession, clean up the property and then giving up the possession of that property, right? So it's a cool
Mm,
product. Like I have used it multiple times and it has been a seamless experience for me. The lawyer is also involved in this transaction.
yes.
The separate set of documents are going to the lawyers for the bridge financing, right? So you have to keep in mind that you need to have enough time on hand to finish these transactions too.
And just always remember too, like I know a lot of clients will say, well, what is the process? And the way that it works with a bridge loan is there's nothing that you have to do. Remember that your lawyer handles everything. And
Mhm.
the day that your mortgage close, like your existing home that you're selling on the closing date, your lawyer is also in charge of paying out that bridge loan and paying out the existing lender. They're in charge of all of those payouts. So it's not
Yeah.
like there's anything that you need to do. I know some clients will say, okay, like, do I need to write a check to this person or how does that work? No, your lawyer takes care of all of that.
Yeah.
The other thing to note too is usually on the day of closing, your lawyer will also give you a breakdown of how much the interest cost was. Usually with bridge loans, in case for those of you listening here are wondering how much is it, it's usually interest only and it's day by day, right? So it's per diem. So it's not like they charge you if you're borrowing it for like 5 days. It's not like they're charging you for a full month. No, it's going to be
Mhm.
based on the days. So again, it could be very nominal, just depending on how much. But just be aware, though, again, depending on the lender, some lenders do have maximums and minimums of bridge loans. So just be mindful of that. If you're looking for a very large bridge loan, I know for those of you listening in BC, Ontario, where your mortgage volume is a little bit higher than in our prairies area, just be careful that there are maximums as well too. Okay, so if you're getting a really large proceed, just be mindful that not every lender may be able to take that on.
Yeah, and that will depend upon lender to lender and case by case scenarios sometimes also, right? And those numbers will, I'm assuming there could be a possibility that we could get some exceptions done if there is a strong file. But again, a lender always has a say how much money they would be lending on that bridge loan, maximum and minimum again. Yeah.
Mhm. Awesome, guys. Well,
Okay.
I hope you enjoyed tuning in and learning a little bit about bridge financing. So just know if you are ever stuck in this situation where you've got a home, your down payment's stuck in that current home, but of course you want to move into a new place and you don't know how to proceed, make sure you reach out to your mortgage professional. Ask about bridge financing. It is a very common tool that many homeowners use to be able to move from point A to point B. Like always, myself, I'm Kim Nguyen, and this is Preet Singh with the Buying Group here. If you guys have any questions, just always reach out to us, and our information is below.
Okay. Thank you guys. Take care.
Thank you.